Congratulations. You've been accepted. But you probably already knew you've been accepted. Because in order to be accepted here, you have to be an exceptional individual. Exceptional in your thinking skills. Possibly an exceptional athlete. Maybe you're crafty. Or maybe you're just really charismatic and you convince someone to let you in here. Either way, you got an invite to this college. Congratulations. Because Deer is a magical place. Of course, you already knew that. It's probably what drew you here. But most of the admissions stuff is bullshit. It's for your parents more than you. To assure that they're spending all that cash wisely. We ask prominent students to offer their thoughts on what incoming fresh things really need to know. We picked the only two that met our high editorial standards. And also one of them blackmailed us, so... And the other bought us beer. So, here they are. This is a message from your student body president, Mordecai Diopoulos.
Welcome, incoming freshmen, to the worst 4 years. Well, 4.5 on average, but who's counting? Of your life. In your time at Deer, you'll experience terrors, the likes of which you have never seen before. 5-hour thermaturgy labs, consecutive all-night cram sessions, bottomless mugs of cafeteria coffee, the all-seeing eyes of the community safety officers, and lurking at the end of it, the dreaded senior thesis. Your physical, mental, and spiritual health will deteriorate. You will churn out paper after paper, each on a subject more arcane than the last. Your parents will ask you what you're studying, and you'll find yourself unable to answer. You will emerge from this experience a bitter, broken soul who hangs around on campus long after graduation, hitting on people years younger than you in an attempt to relive the glory days, before you were ground up in the gears of the terrible machine we call academia. Eventually, you'll move on, leaving behind only footprints and terrible curses that will haunt campus for decades to come. It's not all bad. In every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. You'll meet exciting, interesting, and intelligent people, and form bonds with them that will last at least one lifetime, if not more. Your expertise in the mystical arts will be honed to a razor's edge, as will your ability to get the one libertarian in your philosophy class to shut the fuck up and let someone else speak. You'll learn things man was not meant to know, perform deeds contrary to the laws of nature and of nature's God, and see the fabric of reality for the illusion that it really is. Maybe even while you're sober. And when you're done, when you've slain the thesis snake, completed your group requirements, and walked across the stage at graduation, you will receive your final reward. A fancy piece of paper with your name on it. That's not actually good for anything in the real world because the FBI says we can't tell people where we actually went to school. And at the end of the day, remember that it could be worse. You could be going to ICSUT. Oh.
The student body president is always a little crazy. Here's a message from the student body president in exile. He's the former student body president. He still hangs around campus. It's kind of weird. Gwen Hafer, Thistlebranch.
Alright, you're gonna have to trust me. Don't listen to anything Mordecai says. He's literally an anarchist. I'm not 100% sure that they're gonna put his essay in, but he's got some serious blackmail material on the entire student senate. So it's almost a given. Thankfully, I can outbribe him any day of the week. So I'm pretty sure this message will get in there too. So regardless of what he says, Deer's good. Well, the institution itself is fine, but the community and the people, incredible. The professors are among the best in their fields, and most of the classes are small enough that you really get to know the people teaching you. There's always something happening on campus. Whether that's a dance in the student union, an impromptu spell duel on the quad, or even just a folk music sing-along in your dorm's common room. Even the thesis isn't really all that bad. When you're in the thick of it, and if you choose a thesis topic you really love, it'll be worth it. It's not to say it can't be hard sometimes. The administration, like with any bureaucracy, can be mind-numbingly slow to change. The CSOs will probably confiscate your weed once or twice, which is really a bummer. And there will, unfortunately, be people you don't like. The roommate who sextiles you while you're in the shower, the creepy alum who hits on you at a house party, and that one libertarian in your philosophy class who will not shut the fuck up. I'm pretty sure that guy is actually some sort of ancient curse or vengeful specter, to be honest. These and more will be black marks on your time here. And sometimes in the dark night of the soul that comes upon you when you've been awake for 37 hours straight and your hands won't stop shaking long enough for you to type the next paragraph of your thesis, you want to go back in time. You want to warn your past self against coming here. But even when Deer gets you down, remember that it could be worse.
Man, what an entry letter, huh? Welcome to DeerCollege. Let's go over a little bit about what your time here will look like. What campus life is going to look like, the kind of things you'll hear, the kind of things you listen to. Let's go over housing first. Let's go over your dorms. Now that you've been assigned, I assume you've been assigned your dorms. If you're getting this, you should already have a dorm. And you met your roommates, which you should have done that too. If you haven't, you better go do that. It's time to learn the deepest secrets of how Deer campus housing functions. Every dorm has its quirks, and some of them are well hidden. We feel that it's best that you stay informed, lest you take a wrong turn down a hallway and end up in the year 1999. Do you all remember those see-through phones back in the 90s? But here are some major things to watch out for. The old dorm block is haunted as hell. Invest in earplugs. The ghosts hold crazy parties on school nights. The language houses are probably the best housing on campus, with the exception of the Enochian house, which does not exist and has never existed. If you meet someone who claims to have lived in the Enochian house or taken a class in Enochian, cover your ears and run. Do not walk, run to the community safety office. Canyon House, on the other hand, does actually exist. If you get invited there and can't find it, ask a tree for help. If the invitation is genuine, the Canyon spirits will guide you there. Anderson Hall used to have a full smart home functionality before the incident. That's for another day. If you find a hidden panels, each room does have a built-in surround system, which is pretty cool. Jokes about how people are dying to get into the haunted house are insensitive and give necromagers the wrong ideas. Do not joke about that. Backwood Hall is actually pretty boring. It's just a dorm, you know? Nothing special. Don't drink the punch at mad sci parties. It's impossible to know whether you're going to be part of the control group, and you do not want to be part of the experimental group. We'll go over some extracurricular activities. There's a whole bunch of stuff to do at Deer. That isn't sitting in the library quietly weeping. Like sitting in your dorm, quietly weeping. Or sitting in the cafeteria, quietly weeping. But in all seriousness, if you got something to do that isn't school, you'll be able to cope much better with academic stress, and you might actually finish within 4 years. There are 2 a cappella groups on campus, the Soothsingers and the Young Republicans. The first performs traditional choir music, while the second is an edgy a cappella punk group that mostly sings about the downfall of capitalism. There's always somebody down to play Dungeons and Dragons, which is kind of weird when you think about it because there are already elves and wizards everywhere, but you do you, I guess. And if you're into that sort of thing, there are several religious groups on campus, including the Maxwellist group, a Discordian Cabal, Golden Apple Youth, and a non-denominational Nauka congregation called the Karcist Collective. Also, contrary to popular belief, we do have sports teams. The Deer Elks play in the internal extra-dimensional rugby conference, mostly against the various ICSUT campuses. The Double D Derby Squad is one of the most dominant teams in the Three Ports Derby League, and our Ultimate Frisbee, football, hand egg, and ping pong teams are all nothing to sneeze at either. We have also been instructed by administration to remind everyone that Deer will never have a Quidditch team. Any attempts to start such a team or play that game or any of its variations on Deer campus will be met with severe penalties, up to and including expulsion and permanent exclusion from campus. Do not start a Quidditch team. A little bit of stuff past all the classes and the recreational activities. There's internships, externships, and on-campus employment. There's a whole bunch of internships available to interested Deeries, and some of them are even paid. Anderson Robotics loves hiring Deeries, since old Vince himself went here back in the day, and you don't actually need to be a comp sci major to work there. They do enough with machine thermaturgy that THOMS majors are always welcome. And I even know an NR alum who works for them as a graphic designer. Prometheus Labs also has a ton of internships available before they folded. And most of the companies that broke off from the mothership are still in town and still happy to have an extra pair of capable hands on staff. If you're looking for a job on campus, there are a ton of opportunities for students with the right skills. The thermaturgy, biology, and alchemy departments are always in need of laboratory assistants and test subjects. The cafeteria and campus coffee shop don't pay super well, but you get free food and caffeine. And if you're an experienced exorcist, explorer, or extortionist, the library's got dangerous but well paid work for you. Even though the grounds crew seems like a cushy gig, I wouldn't suggest it unless you're really in tune with the unique ecosystem of the canyon, or you'll be getting viciously attacked by trees. Don't mess with them. There's some post-graduational opportunities too. Even after graduation, Deer can help you find opportunities in whatever field you choose to pursue. The UIU's unique relationship with Three Ports means that a not insignificant number of alumni have joined up with the FBI, and while they are class traitors who will be first up against the wall when the revolution comes, it does admittedly pay pretty damn well. If you want to throw your lot in with capitalism, red in tooth and claw, rumor has it that one of the senior partners of Marshall Cartel and Dark, the world's skeeviest paranormal auction house / gentleman's club / investment banking firm, was a Deary, although nobody really knows where the rumor came from. And even though they have a special relationship with our rivals across town, some of the occult coalition members' organizations will hire any thaumaturge worth their salt. The one sub-fellow organization that does not hire Dearies is known by many names. The janitorial department, the Sane Clown Posse, the MIBS, yes, I am speaking of the Dread Foundation, does not hire Dearies, isn't entirely accurate. There have been some reports of Deer graduates joining the sinister conspiracy planners, but none of them have been heard from since. Maybe they were disappeared, maybe they cut all ties with their former life, or maybe they never existed in the first place, and are just rumors planted to confuse and intimidate the rest of us. Either way, joining the janitors is tantamount to declaring war on the magical world as a whole, and your humble editors cannot in any way recommend it. This is Dr. Hemingway. I think you'll have a pretty good time here at DeerCollege. See you around campus.